Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar. Actually, good afternoon. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Boy, that guy was just chasing those birds. It's pretty funny. Must have grabbed his snacks. Anyways, 81 degrees, absolutely lovely day out there. Take a look at the water conditions. I mean, it's like a lake. You could go out there and float on your back and not worry about it. Probably float out right to the Bahamas there. You wouldn't even notice. Well, let's take a look at what spot prices are today, and here's the quote for the day, and actually it's from somebody we all know very well and are familiar with, Alan Greenspan. In the absence of the gold standard, there's no way to protect savings from confiscation through inflation. There's no safe store of value. And Greenspan did say this. Greenspan at one time was a big gold bug. So if you do if you type in Greenspan, Alan Greenspan, and the word gold, you'll probably see some quotes and comments he made about gold in his earlier days before he became Fed chairman. But he's also one of the gentlemen, I think, that said something about gold being the canary in the gold mine, and that was important for the Fed to keep gold prices down for that particular reason. Lots of interesting stuff to read and learn there. If you're interested, like I said, just go to whatever your favorite search engine is, type in Alan Greenspan and the word gold, and I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of cool stuff. Well, let's take a look at, oh man, there's another quote that I was looking at today. And still, hey, let's take a look at this one too. When in doubt, observe and ask questions. When certain, observe at length and ask many more questions. That was by George Patton. And that's exactly one of the beauties of the things that we can do here is we have data. That's the beauty of the internet age, is data, the data it gives us. And this is why we don't have to worry about, not knowing. For example, if you were brand new into any market and you saw that market get hammered, like the silver market's been hammered over the course of, I don't know how many decades does it get hammered, then back up, and then hammered, then back up, hammered, back up. Then it sets a new level into a new area. I remember the hammering was between $0 and $10, $0 and $10, $0 and $10, except for some epic moments that we had as far as bull markets go, 1980s, 2012. For silver. For gold, we've had a couple great bull markets, and we're still in a great bull market for gold, but not so much for silver. Silver just hasn't seen the third bull that it needs. But again, this quote's primarily talking about gold here. And I've always said where gold goes, silver will follow. And gold is going nowhere but up, folks. It's not going to stay down for long. It's already broken its own highs. Let's see. Well, silver's broken its highs, since 2008, and then you get 2012, and that was really it. Your $50 highs, 2020 again, close to it. And at that point, so you've got 3 times where you've almost broken your highs. Did we get to, I forget what we got to in 2020. It's so much up and down in this stuff. But no less, the data is where you'll gain your confidence when you start looking, because the data shows that gold ultimately always is going to break its prior highs, and it has, especially in times like this. Where did my chart go? I was just clicking. I think I clicked the ad, and there we go. Here, let's hit that and see what happens here. So much for that chart. I'm just going to brag about macro trend charts, and here we go. Just blank page. Let me see. I'll reload this page. Sorry about that, folks. I have no control over this. And no gold charts here today. Let's see if we can see gold prices versus oil prices. And there you go. It's going to let me see some of the other charts. An interesting chart here, though, I was talking about recently, is how gold tracks the price of oil. And one of the things they've been talking about lately is we're going to see much higher oil prices. Man, and that ain't hard to see. Food prices as well. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we're going to see much higher oil prices, which doesn't surprise me. And higher oil prices are going to generally mean much higher gold prices as well. And as you can see, gold typically does track the oil price. There's oil in orange, as you can see, $140 a barrel right there. And 2011, 2012, when we saw our last high in gold, this is probably inflation-adjusted numbers as well. That's why you're not seeing the real high above 2,000, I think. But take a look at that. Gold and oil peaking about the same time, and I think you're going to see the same thing here. Take a look at this. Oil just shot up to that hard to see right here, but almost above $100 barrel level, then back a little bit. I forget where we're at right now. And gold's going to follow that path. And for you silver guys, this may take us into that next $30 plus level, despite the monkey hammering that we're seeing in the COMEX CME markets. Man, I wanted to see the 100-year chart. What is up with that? That's the best chart. Well, it's a good, not the best chart, but a good chart. So, I mean, the data is all here. That patent quote that I just talked about is just study and restudy. And if you think you know something, re-look at it. And that's exactly what we can do, because the data is out here. You can take a look at the charts. You can go look and see that gold and silver has been around for 5,000 years. It's not going anywhere. And where else are we going from here? I kind of just wanted to look at a few of the charts here. Fed balance sheet versus gold prices, as you can see. There's the Fed balance sheet right there, and gold prices haven't really. Take a look back here in 2012, where you got the price of gold up substantially, and then take a look at what happens with the balance sheet here, though. I mean, this is some strange data that I can't exactly interpret myself, but I don't even know why I brought it up here. But you would suspect that this line with the Fed, again, look how it moves in tandem pretty much throughout. I can't even go. I don't think I can go back further than that. All years goes back to when. I guess that's all years. That's as far as they track the data. But you can see that gold and silver, and gold actually is tracking the Fed balance sheet somewhat here until we get into this area right here and this area right here. So explain that, if you will. Chart guide. Let me know what you think of that. And where are we going from here? I'm kind of going into the charts before I get into the spot prices, which are kind of sideways. But no less, macro trends, folks. For those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, great place to go back and look at things. Go back and confirm things that you believe you already know, which is taking a look at the 100-year historical chart, tracking gold prices versus oil prices. And once you start to do this, you start to realize, even when you see these down days and these down periods, that everything's going to be all right. So the data's there, and the data shows that we're in a, follow my little cursor here to the right of this screen right here. This is the buying power of the dollar. And actually, I can just go right over here and show you buying power of the dollar. Let's go to, where is it? Oh, there's my quote for the day. I look for quotes, obviously. And there's the CPI graph right there. Consumer Price Index for all consumer purchasing power for the consumer dollar. And there's one thing you know for certain, that we all know for certain, that as long as this line continues to trend downward, the price of gold will continue to trend upward. And as you can see, this downward trend is choppy. The closer you get to it, the choppier it looks. But you can say the same thing about the overall long-term trend, which I wanted to show you on the gold prices, which does this, the same thing. It's a choppy movement upward that if you inverted this line, is probably not too far, as far as they probably go in the same, well, they are going in the same direction if you inverted the CPI line right here. But as long as this is going downward, gold is going to continue to go upward. And someone mentioned the dollar index. The dollar's strong. The dollar's, as long as the dollar index is up, gold is not going to do well as long as the dollar's up. But the truth of the matter, folks, is when you talk about the dollar index and the dollar being up, that's against a basket of currency. That's against other currencies. That is not this right here, purchasing power. When the dollar is up, when they say the dollar index, they're not talking about increasing the overall purchasing power of the dollar, which has done nothing but decline, as you can tell from the line here. And if you look at the maximum chart, has nothing but declined since 1913 when the Fed took over. Go figure. And again, gold prices since then have done nothing but continue to climb as that line goes downwards. So, I mean, the data's there. You're never going to have to wake up in the morning and hear gold went bankrupt, or it's not going to perform anymore. Unless we went back to a gold standard of some sort. We've got some intelligent people in Washington, D.C. We've got intelligent people that believe in constitutional money, and they believe that fiat is probably bad for us, and try to back our dollar with something. But that ain't happening, folks. That ain't happening. So just look forward to continually climbing gold prices. And as I said to you silver guys, where gold goes, silver is going to eventually follow. What is the ratio today, actually? Let me just do a quick check here. 1,824.58 divided by 21.74 equals
It's approximately 83.9273.
Okay, so it's kind of tightened up a little bit, but it was as high as 85 to 1 recently, which tells me a couple things. Here, let's just talk about this. Gold sitting currently at 1824, a high of 1836. Monkey hammered a little bit lower here. Give me 1 second here, my phone was buzzing away. Low at 1821, a high of 1836. I think we're probably bouncing off that low in the Crimex markets here. Silver, 2155 the low, 2193 the high, currently sitting at 2174. And platinum, man, platinum, I think it's just holding its own for a little while here. And I believe it's kind of a tell saying that gold and silver are probably, well, not probably, but gold and silver are probably in the stabilized area right here. I think we've seen our bottom, but we haven't seen Friday. Yeah, I better not say that. Sometimes when I say that, it just gets monkey hammered even worse. So let's just take a look at the 24-hour charts here and see what's going on. 24-hour spot prices. I'll do a quick refresh. Gold getting monkey hammered in the Crimex markets here. Here's your Crimex markets right here in New York. NYMEX. These are also owned by CME Group, the Globex markets, but pretty much a little bit before the Crimex markets open, you see the monkey hammering with the price of gold, taking it down from the 1830 range down to the 1820 right now. But gold, again, holding its own. I think, as you can see last night in the overnight monkey hammering from yesterday, that it eventually started climbing its way back up here. And again, I think that's just physical buyers out there creating these up cycles that you're seeing. I believe there's big attempts to drop these markets, and you see these real quick hits in the overnight markets. See, where's silver? See, there's a hit in the overnight markets in the price of silver, but overall climbing again. And I believe, like I said, that the big short positions may be in big trouble. You just got to wonder when they're going to close these short positions in silver and not just reopen them. Ted Butler talks about that all the time. What's happening in equities markets? Up a little bit, and again, I think the only reason these are up is just because of Fed and government intervention. And again, you know my opinion if you've watched more than one of my shows. It's like I've been parroting this for the last 3 months now. Interestingly enough, you type in gold and silver coins. I want to show you what big company JM Bullion is. Where is it? Gold and silver. I just saw them. They didn't go to the top again. Doggone it. JM Bullion, there you go. Paid ad. They had their paid ads on here, and I didn't see it. But I'm in Florida, and when you type in gold and silver on your search engine, JM Bullion ads actually popped up here, and that's tons of money to spend to advertise all over the country on Google. A lot of you folks, when you do your search engines, you don't realize it, but the names that pop up to the top are usually paid. And for example, JM Bullion on a paid ad for the word gold and silver coin, every time you click that, it's probably costing them anywhere from $3 to $7 per click. And I'm sure they buy in bulk and stuff like that with Google. But man, when I talk about them being the 800-pound gorilla out there, I bet you could be in Bumfark. I used the word Bumfark, Idaho. Excuse me for you Idaho folks out there. And you could type in the word gold and silver and still pop up in your browser locally. But no less, let's take a look at the best deals out there, because that's what I'm good at. That's the only thing I'm good at. I'm good at, I've been doing it for a long time, buying and selling gold coins, silver coins, and bars, all types of different precious metals. I don't, do the paper markets, and again, not a big chart guy. Learning about charts and stuff like this, and learning, and as I go, I'm teaching you. But one thing I do, again, know very well is physical products. What I can tell you is the same thing, and for you folks that have been following me for a long time, nothing has changed. Unfortunately, it's still the same products that has been for months and months and months that are the best deal. So fast forward out of the JM Bullion page here, and I'll talk to the new folks here real quick, and then we'll get to the next subject. What's the best deal out there for you new folks? Stay away from Silver Eagle, stay away from Gold Eagle, stick with gold bars right now. I believe they're spot plus $90 or less with JM Bullion and the other bullion dealers out there. Some you new folks may say, hey, listen, why is Brian showing JM Bullion? It's like giving up competition and stuff. No, actually, they're the Walmart of bullion out there. And then you've got SD Bullion and APMEX as well, but I can't show you every site. These videos will go too long. They go long as anyway, but I use JM Bullion because they're the Walmart of precious metals online. And what's the best deal out there? Well, the best deal I have, I can beat the prices of JM Bullion for whether it's American Eagles or Gold Eagles, which I prefer not to say because the premiums are too high. What is the best deal? 100-ounce bars right now, 10-ounce bars, generics, and 1-ounce generic bars. There's some other esoteric stuff that's good deals out there, but I'd stick with the hundreds, tens, and ones. And even the premium on those aren't even that good. But as I said, I advertise to beat not Amex, well, them too, but JM Bullion when it comes to, oh, yeah, we're just going to pull up their silver. In-stock silver, let's see where they're at right now. There's the best deal for sure. Look at the price point, as low as, but remember when they say as low as, it means you have to buy 5 or more. But they're 5 or more priced, $25.51, which indicates that you're paying $25.51 per ounce, which is a better deal than, a far better deal than, look at that, Silver Eagles at $10 more per ounce. That's absolutely horrendous, ludicrous. And I love Silver Eagles, but ludicrous. It's it's just crazy, all right? So you want to avoid that stuff for sure. I mean, take a look at the price point. Same amount of silver in both these products, $26.81 versus $35.81. And remember, that's the lowest, their low as prices, and I'll advertise to beat these guys on these prices. Pretty easy for me to do. But stick with those. Kilogram bars are also a good deal. I have kilogram bars, and I can beat these prices as well when it comes to kilos and the 1-ounce prices. But you know, definitely take a look at that. 35 versus 27 versus 100-ounce bars at $25.51 price point. Huge difference, almost a $10 ounce per difference. On 100 ounces of these, you would, oh my gosh, you'd be paying $1,000 more for 100 ounces of Silver Eagles versus a 100-ounce bar. Folks, does that make any sense to you? So stay away from that stuff. As much as I love Silver Eagles, they're just overpriced. When it comes to gold, same thing. Although gold price, you know, gold's a little bit more available, not as hard to get. Premiums aren't as crazy in the gold as they were, and not near as crazy as the premiums in silver. American gold coins, for example, in stock gold. Let's go to their in stock gold and see what the deal is here. Best deal out there is Valcombe bars. Look at the price point, or those 1911 versus 1915 right there. And Krugerrands aren't a bad deal at 1916, but still, for the price of, look, 1911 versus 1936, what's that, like $25 difference? You could buy 1 gold bar plus a silver coin, you know, 1-ounce silver coin, maybe a couple bucks more, for the same price as an American Eagle. So I'd rather have the gold bar and a silver coin versus the American Eagle, especially if you're buying quantity. But again, as I said, 1936 is not totally unreasonable for a gold premium right now, considering how high the price of gold is. I mean, silver premiums are just nuts, but gold premium is not too bad. But I'd still rather have the better deal. I have the ounce of gold plus the silver versus the Eagle. Maples are not that bad either. Take a look at that. As low as 1900. Actually, that kind of blows my mind. Where do they come up with that price? As low as, well, that's their 100-plus lot. Ooh, they must get some 100-plus lots in. And again, I could beat that. If you're going to buy 100-plus 1-ounce Canadian maple leaves, I can beat that price too. But what is their one price? All right, 1914. Okay, I see. Beats their quantity prices on that. But as I said, if you live in South Florida, I'm the guy to see, because I can beat the prices of JM, Amex, and SD. Plus, we can give you good personal service. And yeah, we're face-to-face. We're brick and mortar. We don't do anything online, so you'd have to come in and see us personally, and we're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. All right, my advertising's over. You old guys can come back. Russia, what's going on in the world of GATA.org? Not much. Russia seems to be backing their rubles, not backing their rubles, but being more commodity-based. And Russia's also allowing Moscow's allowing the Russian bank to export gold now, which is kind of interesting. What you're not hearing in news, too, which I just heard the other day, is that the ruble is one of the strongest currencies out there right now. The ruble just, from its low, shot right back up and seems to be very strong. But I can't really get into that. I don't want to make it sound like they're smarter than our people, but gosh darn, it does seem like that sometimes, doesn't it? Well, there's not a lot to talk about here in ZH. A couple good articles out here I'm going to point out that you should read. This doesn't surprise me right here. I'm glad it ended a little more peaceful than just everyone dying in one big mass pile. It's sad. That whole war is sad. But again, you know my opinion on that. And let's see here. Where are we? Gold versus stocks, a growing nightmare for Fed. Oh, I didn't read that, and I like VBL stuff. So if you're going to ZH, there's a good article to read. Gold versus stocks, a growing nightmare for Fed on ZH. The Fed is not your friend. I read that earlier too. Very interesting article. And you know what? We're going to just kind of go to yesterday's video so I can answer some questions. Not a lot to talk about today, and I'm just kind of don't feel like rehashing the old stuff again. All right, let me let me take a look and see what comments we've got down here. Sort by newest, and I'd like to thank everyone here for watching. Silverline says the dollar index is nothing but a gauge against other currencies since gold is a tier 1 asset. You know, that's something I haven't talked about in a while, gold being a tier 1 asset. But for those of you folks that are kind of new to these videos and new to stacking, you're not familiar with that, gold is a tier 1 asset. Just go to Google and type in tier 1. You'll know what Silverliner's talking about. But a very important event that happened, like I think, what was it, a couple years ago or something? Hey, thanks for bringing it up, Silverliner. I appreciate that. Chart Guy, hey, what's up, dude? Chart Guy says he understands my skepticism, and my skepticism really was about, you know, whether these manipulative commercial shorts are looking at charts and saying, okay, you know, they're expecting it to do this, let's make sure it does the opposite. You know what I'm saying? That they're reading the charts as well, and they're monkey hammering the markets just because they are reading charts, and they're assuming that people are following them, and that the next step up should be the next step to the moon. That's what the charts are telling us, and all of a sudden they go in and they just monkey hammer it downward. But Chart Guy says he understands my skepticism. However, it's all baked into the price movements. Keeping in mind all markets are manipulated, the only difference is to what degree. Well, I agree with that, Hunter or Bust. I agree that all markets are manipulated. The silver market is just to an unbelievable degree. The wave C turning point, pennant formation, on the date there at 2158 was pushed out to last night's low, 2050. This becomes wave C of a falling wedge. A falling wedge was an alternative pattern, but estimate this as a low probability, as I dismissed it based on the sideways wave structure. Providing we hold support in this area and make the rally back to sub 26, the market will be poised to break out hard, taking silver to new highs. This is what the markets do. Manipulation or no, do not underestimate the consequences of this pattern should it remain steadfast. Well, Chart Guy, I hope you kind of keep commenting here and keep an eye on it and let us know what's going on and how this plays out here. I'll be watching it as well. Thanks for your commentary. I really appreciate it. And you other folks out there, don't forget, you can go to yesterday's video and make comments here for Chart Guy here and ask him questions. He's been very very informative to me, and I'm sure that if you've got questions, he can answer them as well. But manipulation will always override any chart. That's kind of my feeling, Jeff Keller, but you know, I trust what the Chart Guy says up here. It's all baked into the price movements, but sometimes I just wonder if it really is. Yes, I know the feeling, man. Thank you, Dark Star, name and description and channel. Edwin Munns. I always talk about COMEX, EFRI, and then I get about the DX, just keep slamming up in a bear market. Yeah, dollar index. Again, dollar index doesn't mean stronger buying power. You know, it's just the downward trend for buying power and an upward trend for gold and silver overall. That's my opinion. It's just, it's not happening when you want it to. No concern about silver to recover, buy and hold. Can't argue with that. Yes, I did say that. Here we grow, itchy balls. I know someone's looking at me funny. I just said that. Someone just walked by. Yeah. About a minute, you proved how a victim you are with everybody else sensitive when you refer to mankind. They said womankind. You know, I thought about that, but I wasn't looking for womankind. You know, I was looking for a humankind because, you know, I believe to some degree that, you know, it's been a very male-dominated world. I mean, I grew up in this very male-dominated world, and I like to think that humankind would have been a better word. But you're right. I kind of flipped to womankind and instead of just saying humankind, which would be more all-inclusive there. And I'm not trying to be politically correct. If you know me, I'm anything but politically correct. Hey, thanks for watching 24. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've heard about them buying entire towns, actually. That's true, Zipper Fix. Ned says, I'm pretty sure you're not where the buck stops. Most of them are just a bunch of low-rent minor millionaires who work in service to big billionaire Wall Street bankers and blue-chip robber barons that sponsor, underwrite their sad little man, you could write for me, sir. I think I'm going to have you start writing my scripts. Hopium. Beer and hopium. Thanks for commenting. This is true, BS Detective. Not too long in the near future, buy the dips, that's my opinion. What is, if I brag about it, then I'll jinx it. Yeah, don't jinx it, Tim. Monkey hammer, I got to admit, I didn't create the monkey hammer. I saw that term on a long time ago. Actually, I think it was on ZH I saw the term, and I've been using the term monkey hammer ever since. Maybe I'm the one that kept it going. Thanks for commenting, Celeste, appreciate it. Johnny Boy, exchange stabilization fund until we switch teams. Thanks for commenting there, Johnny Boy, appreciate it. And not quite sure what you're mentioning there, what we'll wait a very long time for, but I don't think it's going to be for silver prices to be higher. Gomer, what's up? Appreciate that. And Mr. BN, yep, South Florida. Oh, it's just crowded. That's the only thing I don't like about down, just getting crowded. Second, first, but Florida's a great place to live. That's why it's getting crowded. Hey, listen, that's it for the day. This is my quote for the year, and pretty much been my quote for life, but I've been sharing it with you lately on a daily basis, which is think for yourself and always question authority. Most of all, question what you think your own narrative, because it may not be your own. It may be something that you learn from corporate news, or you learned it from school, or you learned it from your parents. It may not necessarily be true. So if you question yourself first and you're able to give yourself good answers, then it's easier to question others. And authority especially. Hey, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. If you live in South Florida, we're the place to come to when it comes to rare coins and precious metals. And we're open 10 to 4, Mondays through Fridays. Call us anytime at 954-493-8811. If you don't live in South Florida, please find yourself a good local dealer. And if you have to, the online companies I show there are competitive and you will get your product, but no less. I can't stress enough how important it is to try to keep that money local. Hey, thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye now.